Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy. I'm also still recovering from my cold. Voice is feeling better, but still not 100%. Bear with me. Appreciate you. This deck comes from Patreon subscriber Spunky, who loves the classics, loves Uro's Titan of Nature's Wrath, and this is dang close to just being Bant control. The things in the deck that are not just classic blue-green-white are the other land types for Leyline Binding, 1 red pip for 4th Aerolingus, and then 2 Pyroblasts in the sideboard. This list takes us back to kind of 2 years ago, where Bant Control was the name of the game. Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath was dominating the format, which it's still a player. Obviously, this is a linchpin of blue-green control decks, but it's less than it used to be. Up the Beanstalk and the One Ring have really been jockeying for what the draw engine is in control decks, and this one goes with Up the Beanstalk, which is why we're splashing for Leyline Binding. And this deck really has a classic white removal, blue counter spells, and then green draw engines Bant control vibe to it. The 1/4 Aerolingus, I like 1 being the number in this deck, because it is a powerful, unique effect that can just end the game if you find a stable spot to fire it in a mid or late game. But it's not something you want to draw early. This deck is not very good at defending or retaking the Monarch if you were to lose it to something like an Orcish Bowmaster, which is very easy to do. You don't want like 3 copies of this to just fire 1 on turn 3 and then figure it out later. There's 1 in here, that's the end game. And supporting that, just a ton of removal. And Teferi Time Raveler, who has sort of fallen off in Legacy lately, but still powerful, never forget. And a card that I've really enjoyed lately, that I think the stock should be going up in Legacy, is Solitude in decks like this. It works with Up the Beanstalk. You get the Force of Will vibe, where even if you have to pitch cast it, you're still 1-for-1ing because you're replacing the card. And if you ever get to 5 mana to cast it, which happens all the time because this deck doesn't win very fast, and it has lots of lands in it, you start drawing a card when you kill their creature. Your 2-for-1 becomes a 3-for-1, and by that point it should become pretty hard to lose. I love Solitude. It's here in high numbers. There's 1 Terminus in the main, 1 in the board. Spunky's original list had 2 Terminus main and only 1 Solitude, and I'm cranking it all the way in the other direction because I just really love this card in basically all matchups. Like, even against combo, you can, if you get control, you can flash in a 3-power attacker in the end step. Maybe it draws a card, maybe it doesn't, but you get to not tap out for a turn, and now you're applying pressure, where Terminus is just stone dead in a lot of spots. Also, if the primary win condition of your deck is Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath, and Terminus is your primary removal spell, tucking Uro sucks. You gotta find it again, then escape it again. I kind of like bringing in the Terminus when the matchup is more about creatures on the board, and that's not always true in Legacy these days. And this is a pretty classic, simple control deck. I'm just going to rock it from here. There's not a whole lot more to say. This is Spunky's Bant Beans. I'm on the draw in round 1, regrettably. No lands here. Gonna mulligan this one. You play 21 lands, 8 cantrips, and Life from the Loam, so you can keep hands more often, and sometimes you just miss anyway. Wooded Foothills, that's kind of suspicious. That's not in a lot of decks these days. Exploration, yep. That is kind of what I thought. I'm gonna fight over Exploration. That might have been a mistake. Lands is super annoying because it's hard to know exactly what version of their deck they're on, or what setup of their deck they're on. Because sometimes they just like play a second Exploration and you wasted a card. Sometimes they were desperate for that and they don't have a backup plan. Yeah, sometimes they play Sylvan Library immediately. Yikes. I would have rather forced Sylvan Library among these options. A Leyline Binding, I can get to 3 land types here, and I don't have the other 3 mana. This is immediately bad news. With basic plains here, yeah, I'm just going to shuffle away the plains and hope they don't have a wasteland. Good chance we just die here. I'm going to get Tundra, which doesn't give me 2 land types, but it does cast Ponder this turn. There's that basic plain still floating on top of the deck. I'm going to shuffle this. The deck does play 2 wastelands and a Light from the Loam. If we want to keep up with land-based shenanigans. I'm slightly concerned because my graveyard right now has 6 cards in it, and 3 of them are card selection. 1 of them is Force of Will. Like, normally if your graveyard looks like this at the end of turn 3, you've done a good job, and you should be succeeding. And I feel like I am losing my face off right now. Wasteland? Okay. I think I should go up the Beanstalk here and hold up Swords to Plowshares. There's a good chance they just copy Urza Saga here. Okay, they went with Constructs instead. Okay, I'm going to plow this Construct in response to them making another one. It's interesting that they're this deep on Construct cranking already. Nile Spellbomb, super annoying. Mox Diamond, and another Saga. Okay, that makes sense why they were so heavy on the... Okay. Suddenly, 3 artifacts. Okay, they're spellbombing now to draw a card. I kind of like that, because at least Uro is not exposed to this yet. I can still draw Loam and maybe do something. I'm going to cycle Lorien Revealed for Xander's Lounge. Play Xander's Lounge, Leyline Bind the Sylvan Library. And I have Teferi Pitch Solitude, or Solitude Pitch Teferi, draw a card available to me here. Teferi can also just bounce a thing next turn. They haven't shown me a wasteland yet, which is lucky because I would lose on the spot the first time they make one. They're just attacking for 4. I'm not going to pitch here because if I just draw a white source and get into the 5-mana Solitude game here, that's so much better. And this Swamp and Nile Spellbomb are really interesting. That makes me think this is not traditional lands. They've got some sort of twist here. Ugh. And the twist is multiple Sylvan Libraries. Oh, that card's really good too. All right. I guess I just passed the turn here. I could Teferi, bounce Sylvan Library, hope I draw an untapped land. Actually, I'm into that. I talked myself into it. Bounce Sylvan Library. Come on, untapped land, punished. All right. Well, I'm dead. That's not true. I can pitch the plow to Solitude. And they'll have to decide if they want to try to go lethal on me or respect the Teferi. Tutored a Mox Diamond, discarded a Ghost Quarter. Shadow Spear, okay. The Ghost Quarter represents additional damage because they can make a treasure. Yep, they correctly identified that I am dead here. Solitude. Oh, there's the land. That's a really good land. It doesn't save me if they equip Shadow Spear second main, because they'll still end up with a 1/1. Taking 7 here. Hope they don't equip Shadow Spear. Just wait a turn to do that. Do something else with your mana. Right, the Sylvan Library. I mean, I'm not happy about that, but I'm not dead either. We are clinging to life here. Plus Teferi. I can even sneak Uro through now. Found another Solitude that I can't cast. Okay, I mean, stuff's happening here. They have multiple engines online, but kinda, so do I at this point. They didn't equip the Shadow Spear, just go into combat. That makes sense, because that doesn't change anything. It just taps 2 mana. That either this attack works or it doesn't, basically. Force of Will. Okay. Life from the Loam, targeting Ghost Quarter, Saga, and Saga. If I force this, it buys me a turn. Does that turn do anything? Enforcing this sucks. I don't know if I'm going to get a better force target, though. I'll try to buy myself a turn here. I wouldn't do this if it didn't cantrip, but it does. And that cantrip finds me the second white source that turns on Solitude. And they're looting with Currency Converter, discarding another Sylvan Library. And that can become a 2/2 rogue next turn. Oh no, they just dredged Loam, never mind. Yeah, I missed the bus on what was going on there. Oh, they can just cast Loam and they still have a land drop. Yeah, that force was awful. Okay. Yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense. I missed that one. And I'm 1 short on Teferi, or on Uro here, but my Solitudes are online. They're still dredging Loam. Glacial Chasm, Urza Saga, Wooded Foothills to the hand. You got it. Oh, you're a Pox deck. That's fun. Okay. Well, maybe I should have recognized this sooner, but dang. All right. Yeah, Pox resolves. Discard a Solitude, unfortunately. Sacrifice my basic land. Yeah, so this is like a lands Pox, which is something that I have experimented with before on the channel, and kudos to my opponent. This rules. It's also super cool that they have 3 Urza Sagas in play. What the hell? What am I supposed to do about that? I'm just going to fire the Solitude into play, and my plan is to play Uro next turn. Oh, I do have a Force of Negation. It would have been nice to clear that loam with. It's not too late. Maybe next turn. I'm going to minus Teferi on something. Just have to figure out what it is. I think this Teferi has kind of run his course for the most part. If I bounce this Urza Saga, get 1 token out of it. Maybe bouncing one of the older ones is better, or the newer ones. I'm going to bounce a newer Saga here. And green, green, blue, blue gets me Uro. They're making a treasure in response. That's fine. Land. And I'm going to pass here. I can Mystic Sanctuary and Lorien Revealed back to my hand next turn. I'm going to Force of Negation loam if they dredge it. Activating the other Saga. Then they get a tutor. I'm not going to fetch in response. They can't Pithing Needle both of these, and I don't need both of them. This Currency Converter's been nuts, as it always is. Ghost Quarter, I have 1 basic left in my deck. In the second Dress Down or the one of Terminus, both could get this board stable. And then if I force the loam, we're kind of back to chillin'. This is 9. They can make 2 additional. I'm going to line up this block. I don't necessarily win this combat. If they can make 2 artifacts in response, or they can just take the trade, that's fine too. I just need a sweeper anyway, and incentivizing them to dump out their stuff makes sense to me. Okay, fetch for Mystic Sanctuary. Target this Lorien Revealed. Try to gas up. I want to fetch first. Let's get Volcanic Island out of the way. I want to leave up white after I do this. Yeah, up the Beanstalk triggers. Misty Rainforest. That is a lot of removal. You're saying there's a chance. Another Construct. Another Treasure. They dredged loam, but they found another one. That sucks. Now my Force of Negation is not even good. Okay, so pretty much what I have to do here is sweep the board and then 4th Air Lingus them from 19 all at once. Okay, they failed to find. They're out of things to tutor. We've reached that level of stability. I mean, both my Wastelands are still in my deck somewhere. I'm still gonna force this one, at least try to slow them down. Leyline Binding costs 1 here and draws a card. There's a Wasteland that's helpful. Kind of. Not really, but we can pretend. And I'm going to pass into blockers and see if they dump out more artifacts here. Try to push lethal. There's an extra artifact. Do they want to make the other construct as well? Put me to 1? Nope. All right. Leyline Bind this as well. Swords to Plowshares. You know, we can see how post-board with just some graveyard hate. Like, if I could exile Loam here, I would actually be pretty far ahead. Which is crazy, considering how far behind I've been for the entire game up to this point. At a second Loam in hand. I wonder if I can deck them. Is that possible? I think the 4th Air Lingus is probably still the play. Unlikely to deck them as I continue to jam Lorien Revealeds of my own. A Tropical Island. Lorien Revealed. Lorien Revealed. Draw another 4. There's a Terminus, and that helps next turn. There's the Lingus. Endgame initiated. There is a Savannah left in my deck here with this Misty Rainforest. I could play Uro here. And Swords to Plowshares, one of their things next turn. Teferi can bounce my Leyline Bindings with nothing under them. I'd also just Teferi this thing that's in play right now. Yeah, I'm going to do that, actually. We're setting up the big Lingus. Okay, making a construct in response. This is a 8/8. Oh, I should have plowed it before they got to their turn. I'm watching cards in deck. I'm watching clock. In paper, I think it would have been reasonable to concede this game a long time ago, just for what it's worth. I have to plow here right now while it gains the least life. And I'm just going to F6 and see what happens. Yeah, 14 cards left in my deck. This is rough. This is the Bant control I remember from 2 years ago. Loaming back, Depth Stage Saga. So now they're also presenting a 2020. They finally found a Wasteland. That's bad. Yeah, they're at 27 now. And they found the Wasteland. So I think we're just finally out of luck. I can instant speed Terminus, though. That's what I have to do. I guess if they overcommit, I can still get them. If they settle into Wasteland plus Ghost Quarter and Mana Denial, I'm in a lot of trouble. Okay, they're spending mana, or spending life on this Sylvan Library, that's good. They're cranking out constructs, that's good. Dump them all out. Give me a clean smash this turn. Okay, they've attacked, I'm playing Terminus, I draw a card. Drew the other Wasteland, that's cool. They're playing Saga, okay. Loaming a bunch of junk back. And they played a second Saga rather than the Wasteland. I needed that. Okay, I think the plan here is to just tap out for 4th Aerolingus. Or leave up the Wastelands and I'll tap out otherwise. This is 6 horses. There's my Loam. Attack with all my creatures. My Wastelands are going to stop them from Meryl Aging here. They're at 11 and I'm the Monarch. Remember to activate my Planeswalker. That could be relevant. And pass the turn. 9 cards left in my deck. Okay, they are going for Merit Age. Let the copy happen, then kill the Thespian Stage. And they're converting some currency in the end step as well. I drew a Swords to Plowshares. Probably not the most helpful thing, but there it is. This game has been crazy. Just log in to play some Legacy. And you end up in a slog like this. Just nursing a bit of a head cold, and, you know, I'm fully prepared to deal with this, for sure. But one thing they might try to set up here is Wasteland my Wasteland, and then play Glacial Chasm, and just lock it up. But I'm holding a Loam, so I can Wasteland them again. And they did go for the Glacial Chasm here. They got Stage Beseiju Chasm. They're Ghost Quartering my Wasteland. I'm going to waste their Urza Saga in response. They just floated mana with that. Yeah, if their plan here is to hide behind Glacial Chasm, they're going to be pretty bummed out. There's the Chasm. That has to sack a land, and you only have 2 of them. That's one of your 2 land drops this turn. Thespian Stage is the other. With the Uro in my hand, I can actually Wasteland both of these lands, even if they copy Chasm. Are we going to win this game? The Seiju just went after my Tropical Island. I mean, that's unfortunate. I am, in fact, out of lands. Okay, I mean, this doesn't look bad, team. Loam target, waste, trop, green colorless, play Wasteland, waste your Glacial Chasm. I'm going to convince them to copy this before I drop the Uro and get them with the other one. Green, blue, colorless, Uro, extra land drop. Wasteland comes into play. Take out your Glacial Chasm. Oh my goodness. Lethal attack, question mark? Holy smokes. I'm as confused as anyone, but I'm sure there are some cool lessons that just occurred there. Wow. All right. Endurance is in. Force of Vigor is in. Surgical's in. Force of Negation's in. Terminus did come up that game, but that doesn't mean it's good. Force of Will, I think, is worse than Force of Negation because Loam is one of the important things you need to fight over. I don't like all these Swords to Plowshares. Teferi's honestly not great, but, I mean, he does have some text. Solitude can attack and block. I like that. Have 4th Aerolingus. Wow. Yeah, maybe another Plow and a Solitude can come out. Just white removal's not that important here. The Dress Down sweep up the creatures, and then I have enough left to respect Merit Age. Okay, let's try it. I feel for the opponent. They showed up. They thought they were just punching the clock, farming a control deck. But no, they queued into a monster. Thoughtseize, okay. I did not board in Veil of Summer. I thought there was a possibility they might have some discard in their Pox deck, but didn't actually lean on it that hard. Stripping the Endurance is brutal. That's both graveyard hate, and I'm going to try to be a cheese monster here. The Endurance being both graveyard hate and insurance that I don't deck myself. Oh yeah, it's going to be one of these games. Ponder, find me just 3 lands here. All right, I'll take 8 land. Okay, I'm going to stop in their draw step, and if they wasteland me, I'm just going to take all their wastelands. All right, they didn't wasteland me. Shit. They were correct not to wasteland me. I'll ponder again here. Mystic Sanctuary. Do I want to put that into play as bait? I think I want this. I just don't want any of this. Or, yeah, I'm going to shuffle the library. Xander's Lounge. I mean, that's tempting to wasteland. All right, did they want to go down to 0 resources? I don't know. I'm going to play the fetch land and insulate myself a little bit. Okay, they're missing land drops now. That's cool. They can't hang out like this forever because I will bust it open on them eventually with one of my free drops. All right, please fetch a non-basic. Yeah. Thought seizing me. Okay, yeah, that works. They see the other wasteland. I hope this breaks their heart. They did take surgical. Let's keep being a cheese monster for as long as it's viable. A 3rd wasteland. Oh, come on. Crucible of Worlds? Cut it out. No. All right. I was talking trash. I deserve some comeuppance here. I'm going to try to cycle into a counterspell. I guess I can't. That's not even a thing. I just have Leyline Binding in my hand. I'll do that. Oh, Force of Vigor. Leyline Binding's better. Yeah, take that away, please. I hate when they hit land drops. It's a weird game. Weird in a different way than the last one. This one is just weird because nobody's playing. Choke. Okay. Oh, I can Leyline Bind that also. 4th Aerlingus. All right, I'm going to Force a Vigor right now before the Saga learns to tap for mana. I was just waiting for a second target to bust out the choke here. Like from the loam, targeting a bunch of shit. Okay. All right, I think I'm just going to jam a Lingus for 2 here. All right, they're wasting me in response. Bulk. All right, horses. Gallop. Go get them. Yeah, just wasting me in response again. That's fine. The damage is done. And I am the Monarch. I drew Force of Will. No blue card, though. They dredged their loam. Saga makes a creature next turn, which I have Solitude ready for. They just picked up Wasteland Thespian Stage with loam. Force of Vigor, what's up? Yeah, I'm just going to force their Saga right now before it knows how to do anything. You will not get any creatures, actually. Crop rotating. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to wait till the main phase trigger for that. Okay. Well, I know they have a Thespian Stage. Oh, if I'd waited for main phase, they could definitely copy right now. So that did just cost them a mana. They found Urborg. They would need Mox Diamond in hand all of a sudden. And I actually have Merit Lage beat here because they're at 2 and they can block one of my horses. And I have Force blue card, Solitude white card now. Let's go. Big horses. Big horse energy. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I was not expecting to win that game 1, and I was not sure about that game 2 either, but that was the 2-0 victory. Let's roll. Grindy Bant is back on the menu.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 2 against Master Exploder. Great Tenacious D reference there. My hand has lands and spells in it. I'm going to keep a mountain. My greatest nemesis. I'm going to play my Flooded Strand because that could get my plains, and I'm holding my island already. If they do go for a Blood Moon, I might not necessarily need to fight over it. Legion Warbus. I'm gonna force this. I can fetch Xander's Lounge plus Savannah with these 2 fetch lands and answer the next thing they do. Just bought myself some time to do anything here. This looks like Red Stompy, not necessarily Goblins, not Initiative. This is War Boss is usually not a card that's in those type of decks. Oh, well, fuck me running then. Or it is totally Goblins, and this build just has War Boss in it. Name Sticker Goblin, okay. Now I have to think about how I want to do this. I guess if I fetch Tundra and then cast Brainstorm, they're not going to Blood Moon me. I'm pretty confident. All right, that Dress Down rules. And then I could fetch Xander's Lounge, and Tropical Island is the forest. Okay, so now I have the choice of, do I dress down the name sticker or dress down everything that comes out of it? And I'm going to hope to dress down a Mux this year. I'm going to let this resolve. City of Traders on top of City of Traders, so they have 8 mana right now. Cool, we did it. Okay, dress down this big idiot. Okay, now I have to get control of this situation. So Leyline Binding, exile Muxus, who's still a big creature, even if we did stop the ETB. And then I can Wasteland. Do I want to take out the Ancient Tomb because then their next land kills their City of Traders? Or do I want to take out City of Traders because then their mana hurts them? If they need another land ever, I'd rather take out the city. Or I'd rather take out the tomb. But if they don't, then they just get to play on city. Start with Teferi. And do I bounce anything? I could just plus Teferi and have him in play. And Wasteland the... I'm going to go for the Ancient Tomb. I'm going to try to screw them if they try to add to the board here. Another one of those. Again, do I fight over what comes out of it? All right, I'll try to fight over what comes out of it. Because the thing is, if I counter the Name Sticker Goblin, the thing that they're trying to cast with it is still in their hand, and they could just do that next turn. And I'm more scared of Legion Warboss than I am of Name Sticker Goblin. Okay, now it's time to flip a Terminus and win the game. That's all I need. Okay, they're ignoring Teferi. That's good for my chances. Terminus, one of. Ponder, okay, we could set up a Terminus maybe. All right, I'm gonna ponder first, because if I have to plus Teferi, that changes things. Okay, what does Uro do? They have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage in play, 13 damage in play. Or no, they can even attack first. Uro might be enough temporarily. If I bounce Battlecry Goblin, that's the one that I'm worried about here. Oh, I was supposed to Uro first. Yeah, I was supposed to Uro first, so I didn't have to draw both of these lands. Okay, your turn. Battlecry Goblin, do you have the mountain? No, okay, good. We're clinging to life here. They've decided to respect Teferi now, all of a sudden. Okay. Hopefully it's too late for that. Mystic Sanctuary is online right now, but there are no cards in my graveyard I want to recur. Terminus? Solitude? Brainstorm, okay. Blue, blue, green, green. Just cast Uro here. I guess I could Brainstorm first, but now I'd rather have the Uro card in my hand. Here's Uro. Trigger, Swords to Plowshares. That's a good one. Fetch for Tundra. And Plow Battlecry Goblin. Just take it out right now. Just try to beat them with a 6/6 at 14 life. Goblin Matron, okay. Hopefully that's a setup for next turn, and not something that kills me right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see another Name Sticker Goblin show up. Broadside Bombardiers, yep, that one's good too. I understand the plan. Okay, I can Mystic Sanctuary anytime, so I'm just going to chill. Another Uro. Okay, I'm going to Mystic Sanctuary now and get that Swords to Plowshares back on top of the deck, and then attack with this Uro, draw the Plow, and then I could Brainstorm or play my other Uro. I could play my other Uro and Brainstorm. Okay, other Uro first. Blue, green, colorless. Keep the one that's real. Solitude, what's up? Do I even Brainstorm now? I think so. Brainstorm, Force of Will, and another Uro. Yeah, I don't need Solitude this turn. If I put back Land Solitude, I have Force Blue card and Plow here at 19 life. I like those odds. Trust in the Uro. Goblin Matron. Okay, they've pivoted off of the Bombardiers now that they know I have Plow. Getting Muxus, but I also have Force Blue card. They can attack for 6 that I will not be challenging. I will clap back here, put this Trop into play, and I'm holding up Solitude plus Plow plus Force Blue card now. I love when they start blocking. That rules for me. There's Bombardiers. That resolves. Beginning of combat, I'll Plow it. And I'm hoping for a huge ambush on the Solitude here. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm going to Plow a Namesticker Goblin, block a Matron, and then we're just driving. Oh, I did that backwards. Well, whoops. Yep. Took an extra damage I didn't need to. Hopefully it doesn't matter. I'm pretty far ahead here, but obviously that was not good. Beanstalk, found a land. Attack, gain 6. Lingus, that's a good one for next turn. And I will pass at 21 life with Force of Will in my hand. Namesticker Goblin. They are dead to my 4th Air Lingus, so I'm just going to counter this rather than mess around with the Muxus. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you survive the first wave of goblins, they're just sort of a medium speed creature deck. But surviving that first wave is not trivial. Hydroblast coming in, Terminus comes in, Containment Priest comes in. Force of Negation goes out. Plow is great. I actually like Loam being in the package a lot. Like cutting their mana out from under them has to be part of your long-term plan if you're going to beat them. The Fairy's medium, but has text. I'm surprised how not easy it is to sideboard here. And Up the Beanstalk is... You can shave on those in super fast matchups like Combo or Mega Stompy Initiative, because drawing 2 of them is not very good, and it doesn't help you survive at first. You want it later. In Glorian Revealed, I can see chillin' and Teferi chillin'. Yeah, I'll try this. Let's go. I could entertain arguments that Endurance is better than the other Teferi that I did leave in, just because it's a body that can show up on a reasonable time frame, but Teferi pitches to both Force and Solitude, which I think is really good. I'm going to keep this hand. I wish it didn't have 1 land in it, but it does have Force Blue card plus Ponder, and then a bunch of white removal. Ancient Tomb. Chrome Mox. It's always tempting to force that Chrome Mox, but then I chicken out every time. I don't think I need to force this, but I am going to. I'd actually love to draw Wasteland here. I'd crack it off so fast. Speak it into existence. All right, please don't play a spell. Now I wish I forced the Mox. Just pass without a play. That's fine. Shatter Skull zapped it in. Hand Chrome Mox, wow. They're down to 1 card in their hand. Goblin Rabblemaster is a pretty good 1 card to have in your hand, though. Okay. So I gotta get this, either set up this Terminus or play this Leyline Binding before this thing kills me. Xander's Lounge, interesting. I mean, that guarantees Leyline Binding next turn versus trying to ponder and get something else together. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Lounge and lock my profits here. I can guarantee Leyline Bind plus Ponder next turn if I just play Lounge here. They've got a Cavern for the future. I'm taking a bunch of beats here. There's a Plow, Fetch, get Savannah, Ponder, Beanstalk, 2 Brainstorms. And Brainstorm is actually really good with this Terminus stuck in my hand. Okay. And I'll pass into their turn. I have to Leyline Bind before combat. Oh, come on, don't do it. Don't do stuff. Don't do anything. Oof, that was a really good draw. Okay, Leyline Bind the Rabblemaster, because that thing is in the process of killing me. And they still get to attack for a gajillion here. Am I dead on board? It's very close. Yes, even if I Plow and set up the Terminus, I'm dead on board. So I have to Brainstorm into a blue source that's not a fetch land here. Oh, sick. All right, well, we're back in it. Put back Containment Priest and Terminus. Play the Tundra, pass. Brainstorm into Terminus during combat on their turn. Activate a Battlecry Goblin. Yeah, tap that Ancient Tomb. Just cram it in. What could go wrong? Brainstorm. It's a miracle. Put back Ponder and Beanstalk. Whammy. Well, I'm at 3, and their deck's full of haste, and they're actually at 6 mana with a cavern, so Muxus is also live. But we begin the comeback here, and I am going to invest in Beanstalk and just hope that they don't draw Muxus this turn with this Containment Priest in my hand. Just like draw a land or some shit. How about that? Alright, Semi-Spirit Guide qualifies as a land or some shit, I think, pretty safely. And just in the interest of velocity here, I am going to Brainstorm End Step. Didn't really work out how I hoped, but I do have cards to play. Leyline Binding. I'm just going to send that now. It is a cantrip. Exile that Spirit Guide, and I'm going to hold up the variety of interaction that I have and hope that I don't need it. I drew another Goblin. Oh, that's a very good Goblin. I think I should dress this down. This is a cantrip and stops one of the more potent things that their deck can do, which is tutor for whatever it wants. Uro, hello, okay. I drew another land, or I drew another Terminus. I think, as much as I would like to play this Uro and just go to 6 life, I think I need to leave up interaction for another turn. I can Brainstorm here, though. Put this Terminus back where it belongs. Yuck. And missing these lands is tough. Okay, Terminus back in. Lorien Revealed is a land, technically. Just take the scenic route to get there. Island Cycle off of the Savannah. Get Trop. Yeah, that's fine. Trop. And now I have Hydroblast, Swords to Plowshares to be alive. And then I can Uro with those things up next turn. They drew another Goblin. Why would they ever not? Is the question. Oh, yep. And not even like a normal card that I could just kill. Okay, I'm gonna stop complaining. They whiffed. Just straight up fucking whiffed. 0 goblins in those top 4 cards. Okay, they're attacking here. I have some options. I can play Containment Priest, get that on board, and block Goblin Matron, go to 1, then Uro my way back up to 4. I could Hydroblast Plow, just get the board empty. I think I want the Priest in play. I'll just go to 1 and have that under control. This Muxus is not going to get me here. I'd love a land. If I can hold up 2 layers of protection on top of Uro, I'll feel really good about that. Solitude would be dope too. All right, found the land. Blue, green, colorless, Uro, front half to 4, hit my land, and I've got Plow and Hydro. And then 6/6 Uro shows up next turn. They did just put 4 cards that aren't goblins on the bottom of the deck. That is like 4 time walks. I'm going to Plow this. I think saving Hydroblast is better because it mostly does everything Plow does, but then if they have like Pyrokinesis or Blood Moon or Pyroblast, that's fine. I'll put my 6/6 in front of that one. I feel us tentatively, but undeniably getting control here. Blue, green, the magic numbers. Up to 7 life, 2 lands, which means I can afford to ponder. I'm going to get a basic island just in case there are moons in my future. Force of Will doesn't help. I'm going to shuffle this. Hit my land drop. Oh, that means I can ponder again. That's cool. Ponder again. I do like Plow. All right, here we go. Time to mount the comeback. Hey, there's that thing I said might happen. Fetch. Grab basic planes. I can even let this resolve and then kill it whenever I feel like it. Yeah, that resolves, whatever. In for big 6 damage. And I'll Hydroblast the moon now because I do want to be pondering. Leyline Binding, I'll take it. All right, opponent's had enough. Cool. All right. A clean little victory over goblins. Just, don't die for long enough and you'll eventually beat them. On to the next round.
If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event.
I'm on the draw. against a friend of mine who I have not queued into on Magic Online before. I'm not going to keep this hand. I will keep this hand, and I'm going to put Terminus to the bottom. This is a known lands player who I know also has been branching out into blue tempo decks more recently than that. So I actually don't even know what he's up to these days. Did not shuffle Ponder. I'm not going to try for a Cheese Wasteland here. I think that is a mistake against almost all decks. When you are a control deck like this, our Wastelands are for surgical use, not for firing into the void and hoping they work. Currently, Bowmaster's being represented, so I'm being stingy with my cantrips. There's a Brainstorm. There's a 4th Aer Lingus. That's interesting. I don't want to see it this early, but when you do see it this early, it opens up the pipeline. Like, I suspect this is some Bowmaster tempo deck that is being played carefully, not Doomsday. All right, yeah, this is Sultai Beans. Yes, indeed, there it is. Okay. How do I navigate this in the best possible way? I don't know that I have a good way to navigate this. I could brainstorm in response, but I'm being shown Bowmaster mana. Tropical Island gets me 3 types, and then if I fetch Sanders Lounge, that's Mountain Swamp. Okay. Build your own Savannah with Tropical Island plus Plains. All right, well, Bowmaster didn't happen. That's lucky. I'm going to put back the 4th Aer Lingus. That's pretty far from useful, I think. And one of the many bindings I have here. All right, this thing resolves. And I'm bummed about it. Fetch Xander's Lounge in the end step. Stifle, get wrecked me. Look for Xander's Lounge in the end step. Stifle it again. Come get me. All right, get Xander's Lounge. Putting that in my hand is much worse than putting it into play. I am going to send the Leyline Binding. Removing Beanstalk is worth doing. Opponent agrees with that assessment. Force. Pitching Daze. Getting a draw off the beans. And I'm going to try to Ponder now while Bowmaster is not available. I actually am not even mad about just seeing 3 lands here. Yeah, I'll keep those. Okay, you're up. Opponent's got an engine in play and I don't. It's bad for my long-term health. I'm holding multiple answers to a Murktide. Unfortunately, this Murktide cantripped on the way in, making it significantly more terrifying. A Wasteland taking out my Xander's Lounge makes my answers to Murktide much harder. And Sultai Beans is such a good deck. Whoever released this on the world is a menace. I'm going to try to just shove Teferi here and see what comes of it. It's a Daze deck, it's a Spell Pierce deck, Force of Will deck, etc., etc. Cool, it just resolved. I'll take that. Surprising outcome, but I'm happy about it. Against a Bowmaster deck, I don't expect Teferi to last very long. But I did clear the Murktide. Witherbloom Command, okay. No good targets for that. That's just drain you for some life, pick up a land mode. And I kept that Ponder that had 3 lands in it for this possibility. It does refuel the Murktide immediately. Wasting me off green, you got it. Plus Teferi, Tropical Island, Leyline Binding. Just doing it right now. No reason to wait. And this is why I tried to fight over up the Beanstalk, because even though I'm getting really good exchanges all over town here, opponent has drawn, I believe, 3 additional cards off the Beanstalk. Force, Murktide, plus the cantrip on the way in. And even though I've gotten a bunch of really good exchanges here, I'm still just behind on cards and resources, because Beanstalk's in play for them and not for me. Oh good, we're a Leovold build. Yikes. Flip Terminus. Up the Beanstalk, man. Tough beats. Alright, I have to think if there's any clever way to do what I want to do here. So if I play up the Beanstalk and it triggers, and then I Solitude over the top of that trigger to clear Leovold, I don't get to draw a card from Beanstalk on the Solitude trigger, but I do get to draw it off the original trigger. Versus if I just cast Solitude first and then cast Beanstalk, it ends up being the same thing. Alright. Alright. Heckin' Leovold. And that second Wasteland so clutch. If I could just cast Solitude here, that would be great. Okay, that's gone. Up the Beanstalk. Now I have an engine, but I'm 5 cards behind my opponent. So it's like I don't have an engine. Or it's like, well, I still have an engine. Theirs has just been running for a lot longer than mine. In another Wasteland, taking me off green yet again. In another Murktide, just prepared to get bounced here, which is fine. Oh, we did it, Reddit. It's a miracle. Cantrip and miracle. That sounds like a swear word. It's a cantrip and miracle. Plus the Teferi, and I'll play the Volcanic Island and pass. Okay, I mean, we're still behind, but that was a really good time to hit that card. I would have preferred to hit it on the Leovold turn, but I won't be picky. Orcish Bowmasters. Hate these guys. Teferi's back down to 3. Well, I was about to say there's only one Terminus in the deck, but there is another one right here, lurking beneath my Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah, I'm just going to pass into this Bowmaster, probably attack Teferi for 2, and then when Beanstalk triggers next turn, Teferi will go to 1, but I'll still have Teferi on a clear board. Fetching for the Mystic Sanctuary kind of sucks here, though, because I don't have green mana or any real path for it. Yuck. Double Beanstalk. Just when I was starting to catch up. Brainstorm. Yeah, they're just doing so much more than me on what appear to be lower resources, but they have more resources than me and keeping up with me just fine on cheaper spells. Sanctuary, that Terminus back. It's a miracle. Beanstalk triggers, Bowmaster triggers. Okay, I have Force blue card now. Or just Hardcast Force. That's cool too. That Bowmaster is back in the deck, which actually does matter because running this deck out of ways to win is a viable win condition when you're a bigger control deck, because they have 4 Murktide, 4 Bowmaster, and some builds have 1 Leovold. Okay, we're firing the Mystic Sanctuary onto a Brainstorm here. That's promising. Uh-oh. Lorien revealed. Well, I can't reasonably let that resolve, even though it almost draws as many cards as the spell would draw, just for casting it. Witherbloom Command, killing my Beanstalk, and milled over the final Wasteland that was not in the graveyard when that spell was cast. Bummer. Alright, tough crowd here. 4th Aerolingus off the top. Let me send it. Okay, that is access to green mana, which my opponent, I suspect, is smart enough to know to hold on to the Wasteland for. There's a Brainstorm, the one that wasn't cast last turn, because they were busy revealing Lorien. That Witherbloom Command did mill 2 Bowmasters, though, and that's 4 of their 9 win conditions now answered. Bowmaster, boy, do I hate this guy. I don't think now is the time to dress this down. Ponder. I mean, decking them also viable here, so decking them or running them out of threats are how I can win this game reasonably. Wasteland taking out my red. Okay. Alright, I mean, that makes it difficult for me to have domain. Both of my mountains are in the graveyard, but Light from the Loam's still in my deck, and I still have access to green, which is a real color my deck actually plays. Brainstorm. Okay. I can plus Teferi. I can dress down, then Brainstorm. And that actually lets me do stuff for a turn. Brainstorm, move some stuff around. Uro, Leyline Binding, up the Beanstalk. This Teferi, I think, is past his prime. I can play Uro just in play as a 6/6. This deck has removal in it, but I still think this is worth trying to do. Just put this big homie in. Okay, I have a 6/6 in play now. Certainly the Murderous Cuts, Children's Edicts, and Fatal Pushes that this deck plays that we haven't seen any of yet aren't in this 6-card hand. Okay, a Murktide Regent, which is going to draw 3 cards. 15 cards left in that deck over there. That is one of the win cons I'm tracking. And did not exile any spells, so I suspect opponent has double Murktide available to pump the first one. Basic Island, I believe they're out of lands now too. All 3 Wastelands have been used, some of them twice. Okay, Murderous Cut functions the same, pumps the Murktide while clearing the Uro out of the way. 12 cards left in the deck, which unfortunately is plenty, but They're out of black mana here, so I suspect Teferi will survive the turn, which means I can... Oh, no attacks. That's interesting. Huh, why didn't we attack there? I'm not sure about that one. Okay, Swords to Plowshares, Orcish Bowmaster, Leyline Binding, Murktide Regent, and plus Teferi. I suspect that was a misclick, not a strategic decision, but I mean, we're here, sorry. And now we are back to something resembling stability. Oh no, where did this wasteland come from? Are they playing 4 of them now? It just leaned all the way in. Beanstalk, well, that's bad. No green mana or prospects for green mana, and I just brainstormed into 2 green cards. However, I have more life points than my opponent has cards in their deck, and they will need to add to the board to kill me. But at least 2 of the ways they could add to the board make them draw 3 cards. Yep, there's Murktide. The problem is these recent builds that have like 3 stifles in them. If I minus Teferi to bounce this Murktide, they can stifle the activation because Teferi's gone at the point where it matters. I think I still have to do it though, and I can hardcast the Force of Negation on a stifle. Okay, I mean, that just went away. Still, these Wastelands have kept me off colors extremely effectively. 8 cards left in the deck over there. Murktide is full hog here, if they choose it to be. Or we're just paying 7 for a 3/3. Nope, okay. Thought about it and then realized that you got to kill me a lot faster than that. Okay, 4 cards left in the deck over there. I am dead in 2 hits. I think there's still 1 Bowmaster left. Yeah, there's 1 Bowmaster unaccounted for. I'd love to draw a Swords to Plowshares. Ponder. Ugh. Well, I'm going to send it on the Ponder. This walks into that last Bowmaster. Alright, I found a Teferi. I will try to cast him. I think if I can bounce this Murktide, we're in good shape. I saw the life total go down. 1 card left in the deck over there. But that might be enough. If there's another Murktide in hand, I don't think I've completely run out of them. One. Oh no, this is the last Murktide. Okay. Murderous Cut, exiling 4 things, targeting Orc Army. Yeah, you'd have to buff your Murktide somehow. 0 cards in the deck. What's going on here? Wow. Okay. Play to your outs, folks. Grindy Bant. Cannot be stopped. I like Pyroblast for Murktides. I like Force of Vigors for Beans. I like Endurance for not decking myself. Veil interacts pretty favorably here. I actually think Teferi is pretty bad, even though he did hang out basically that whole game and probably helped a lot. Terminus is really questionable. Like, I like Terminus versus exactly Leovold, but otherwise I actually want to exile their things if I'm dealing with them, not just put them back in the deck for later, because as we saw, they went through their whole deck. Force of Negation can chill. Dress Down can buy me a turn to operate under Leovold or Bowmaster. I'm not super high on Dress Down. Opponent's going to have Force of Vigors as well, which is worse for me because of my Leyline Bindings. Carpet should be in also. Okay, Dress Down's got to go. I can get lighter on Force of Will. The problem is that they don't have to get lighter on Force of Will. This is something that came out in our testing for Eternal Weekend. That video is on the channel. I played like a bigger Beans deck versus Pokemoki on Sultai, and he just decimated me because he could get low with forces while I was incentivized to board them out. Okay, I guess I'll cut some of them anyway. Maybe Force of Vigor. One of them should stay a Force of Will, and I just have 1 in there to catch up on Beans if I need to. Okay, I'm up a game, up on clock, and I didn't deck myself game 1. Those are all good things. I'm going to keep this hand. Life from the Loam is a big one. Basic Island Pass. I might want to brainstorm now, just so Bowmaster isn't a jerk about it. Alright, I found access to green. I can put back one of these forces and Lorien. All right, Beans online immediately. And unfortunately, I did play into Daze here. I still think I need to fight over this, and I'm going to throw Brainstorm, because I think Uro is more likely to outgrind a Bean. Oh, wow. Didn't expect that to work, but I'm happy it did. Yeah, I'm going to get a Nope, Savannah. Savannah does more for me here, and pick up the Misty, just declare my intention to Life from the Loam this game. Announce that Wasteland's not that effective. I'm not going to Dredge Loam. I am going to shove Uro. I could Bowmaster here, but that doesn't outmuscle Uro. Yep. It is effective, don't get me wrong. It's not nothing, but it's not Uro. I'm going to put in Wasteland and take out their green source. This line might be aggressive, but I'm into it. And now Dredging Loam has the possibility of waste locking opponent. Like if we don't see land drops coming, that is a reasonable place to go with it. Okay, land drop's still coming. Unaffected. Though dredging to fuel Uro is still a noble cause. Dredging, gonna fetch and get full value out of this Loam. 3 targets. I think I was supposed to bind first because this is a Dazeable binding. Fetch for a Trop in the end step. And another Bowmaster. I'm going to send a binding here. If you daze, you daze. If you don't, I'll take a Bowmaster, please. I just realized on that final turn last game where I was worried about a Delve spell pumping the Murktide, the Delve spell would have also decked my opponent. So I'm sure the comments have already pointed that out to me, but I want you to know I realized it on my own. Okay, they've got a 4/4 Murktide, 5/5 Murktide with Ponder on top of the deck. I'm going to draw for my turn. Nope, I'm going to Dredge Loam. There was a Carpet and a Plow there. Disappointing. All right. It's fine, though. I'm going to fetch for Tropical Island. Blue, green, green, blue. Arrows on the stack. Uro resolves. Uro puts Wasteland into play. Uro is bigger than these ground creatures. Waste the green. Okay, if I can find a white spell for this Murktide Regent before I'm dead, that would be cool. I suppose I can Loam back Flooded Strand and then fetch Mystic Sanctuary and then draw Swords to Plowshares. Opponent shuffled with their Ponder. And then I go to a sad little 6 life. I draw for turn. And this is interesting. I could just go horsing. That's probably really bad for me. I could horse, no attack, or just attack with Uro. No, I really don't want opponent to have the Monarch. Yeah, if I attack with Uro, opponent will just take 6. And I am mega dead on the backswing. Dead to the Murktide. Or no, I gained the 3 from Uro. Alright, I'm going to attack with Uro. And this might be a defensive for Theralingus if I don't find white removal. They put in Flooded Strand. And Endurance does kind of stabilize this a little bit. I'm at 8. No blocks as expected. Tropical Island. I think the Lingus is the play here. Just 4 blockers. It's not how you want to use this card, but it's what I've got. Okay, I mean, I go to 3 from this Murktide attack. I got the ground gummed up. Endurance can chump Murktide next turn. Or I'm picking up the Plow this turn with the Mystic Sanctuary. Fetch puts me to 2. Mystic Sanctuary. Get that Swords to Plowshares. Then go to my turn. Swords to Plowshares, the Murktide Regent. Hope for the best here. My spells have resolved so far. And that one did as well. Uro and 3 horses attack. I'm pushing damage here, wherever I can. I could have cast Loam before combat, and then Uro doesn't actually draw a card here. Oh, that's bad. Alright, well, that sucks. They can either kill my blocking horse or just put me to 3. Or it's actually to 2, because they get the ETB one as well. Alright. I mean, I think killing the blocker is probably right. Opponent came to the same conclusion. And now Orc Army is bigger than Uro. But if they block Uro, I'll just replay it. Right, taking a big chunk of damage was the decision. Loam, target all of these lands that I have. Wasteland, one of the seas. And I will pass the turn from here and hope Endurance holds the fort. Just the 8/8 attacking. Cast Endurance. Target opponent. I'm not going for decking here, but turning off Murderous Cut and Murktide matters. Okay, block that. Wasteland, probably going for my white. Yep. I'm going to draw for a turn and then dredge Loam when I attack with Uro. Found a Tundra. Attack with Uro. Have to block because you're at 6. Put Tundra into play. Bowmasters don't trigger. And now I can Wasteland every turn. Wasteland, chump block, Wasteland, chump block. That's the plan. Wasteland, take out a C. All right, we're chilling. Tentatively, not dead. Probably not going to see an attack here would be my guess. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, block. I guess when you're also getting waste squeezed, it gets a little more complicated. Draw for turn. Leyline Binding. That's a white card. Okay, guess I'm just going to attack with Uro. I could go for a win here, but I think it's safer to take my time and try to reduce their resources. If I can bind this Orc Army, that's really good. Wasteland, take out another C. On your turn, before you can do anything, this one card, it has to be Stifle. Wow, okay. GG's. There was that misclick in game 1 about attacking Teferi that may or may not have swung that game, but this one, we just got over the hump and were able to grind him out. On to the next round, still undefeated.
The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop.
I'm on the draw in round 4. I am going to keep, though, the vibes. Like, this hand is perfectly capable, but my opponent took 2.5 minutes to decide if they're on the play or draw, and then immediately mulled to 6. I suspect this is like a combo player who's multi-queuing. But I'm going to keep the hand anyway. I'm going to ignore those vibes and just try to play good fundamental Magic because this hand is otherwise great if my read is wrong. All right, we got an Ancient Tomb Gamer, Sphere of Resistance. Okay, well, they are certainly not playing Reanimator. This looks like lands to me. Oh, that Force of Will showing up a little late. With Force of Will in my hand and 1 mana available, if this is Sphere of Resistance lands, I would like to have an opportunity to interact before they just waste me out straight to hell, which was about to happen. Okay, well, fetch. I don't think there is good motivation to fetch a basic here, because basics don't cast Life from the Loam, which is the most important card in my deck right now, and I am basically locked to play this Xander's Lounge here anyway, and the Wasteland's going to find a target. They haven't actually revealed that they're a lands deck yet, but lands does play all of these cards, and I don't know of like a mono brown aggro shop style deck in the format. I mean, all the cards exist. You could try it. I've done it on the channel, but it's not like a known thing. Okay, the lands information is building. Yeah, Maze of Ith, Mox Diamond. I'm pretty hyped they tapped this Wasteland, honestly. 3rd Sphere of Resistance. Well, shit. That's a lot of that card, opponent. Can you chill for like 1 second? The good news is, though, I can fetch Savannah, and Leyline Binding still costs 3 because it costs 8, but it's reduced by 5. Or, yeah, that is accurate. Now I have to decide if I want to attack this Mox Diamond or the Sphere of Resistance. I'm actually going to take their Mox Diamond. I'm going to try to put them in a hell of their own devising. Because now wasting me puts them back under their own spheres even further. And if we want to play just full idiot magic for a while, I'm fine with that. Let's go. My deck also has wastelands in it. They did not attack the green source, which I love. Come on, any land is good. Sick. And we're just right in it, casting Ponder. Volcanic Island, Ponder. It's looking for land number 4 to cast this Loam, and then we're just ahead of their junk. I'm going to shuffle this. It's not a land. Shuffle into another Ponder. If I cast this Loam, I'm going to feel miles ahead. Urza Saga. Okay, I no longer feel miles ahead. There are wastelands in my deck, and I get 5 looks at 2 cards right now. Teferi, you're pretty far away from being useful with the double sphere. Come on, deck. This is not what I want. Shuffle for the land. Oh, no. All right, now I'm falling behind. I think this was strategically okay, but missing on draw, ponder, shuffle, draw, ponder, shuffle. That's 10 cards without a land. That's kind of rough beats. And I still play a lot of lands. The Loam just got a lot worse. Now I need a fetch land to turn Loam on. Okay, we did it. I could spend this turn... No. I was about to say I could spend this turn Swords to Plowsharing and figuring out everything else later, but I would like to guarantee my next land drop. And if they have a Graveyard Hate spell instead of a Shadow Spear or Expedition Map to tutor 4 off this Urza Saga, I want to make them do that. As I have Teferi and Swords to Plowshares to stabilize against these constructs. If they're reacting to my graveyard instead of pushing damage, that's only good for me, but they might appropriately assess that that's not necessary and just get Expedition Map, tutor a second Saga, and keep the pressure up. Okay, Soul Guide Lantern, they did move in on the Loam. Good. This is where they play a Saga from hand. 5 damage coming in. We're both at 10. I can cast Teferi with my mana. I need my opponent to just chill. Just don't wasteland me. Don't play another Saga. You could play like a Forest or just play nothing. Those would be fine options, actually. Life is pain. I can still Swords to Plowshares. If I draw a land this turn or next, Plow plus Teferi still stabilizes over multiple turns. Okay, that works. I think I would rather put the Mystic Sanctuary into play tapped and just cast the Plow than worry about having 3 islands next turn to cast Teferi with. Lethal attack thwarted. They do go back up to 15, though. Half my work undone. Okay, do not cast a life from the Loam. Just pass the turn. Draw a card with Soul Guide Lantern. All right. Just pass the turn. We'll take it. I will also take that Wasteland. Fetching with Misty. I'll get another Tundra. Well, double green, I'm holding Uro. Single white is enough for most of my white cards. I'll just get a Trop, actually. 5 mana for a Teferi. Let's stabilize this joint. They've got a couple of draws available. They can sack Soul Guide Lantern or Mystic Sanctuary and dig for more cards. They could crop rotation over top of this Teferi. That is what's happening. Are we just grabbing another Saga? Or what's going on here? Are grabbing another Saga. That is one construct I'm going to have to deal with because this Wasteland won't come down in time. Bounce the construct that's in front of me. But playing Uro, I really wish they draw a card with the Soul Guide Lantern, but that seems unlikely, though their whole mana base hurts them right now. If they Soul Guide to clear out Uro, that's an artifact they don't have, and Uro will have already gained some life. In the meantime, this game could still go either way. Okay, plus Teferi, play Uro, 5 mana for that. The trigger will put in Wasteland. I wonder if I'm supposed to Wasteland Ancient Tomb actually here. I think I am actually. Yeah, Wasteland Ancient Tomb. They still only get 1 construct. They can tutor. Yeah, maybe if they get a Mox Diamond here, that's bad. But I did just draw Plow off of the Uro trigger. So, I don't know. Let's see. Hope I didn't just mess that up. But squeezing them under their spheres was a decision I made on like turn 3 when I exiled Mox Diamond instead of a sphere. Pithing Needle, okay. That's not a mana source. The Teferi's miles away from being activated again, that's okay. Windswept Teeth from hand. They have 3 mana right now. They could cast a 1-drop. Expedition Map. That's a pretty good 1-drop, actually. It is both an artifact and a continuation of the Saga game plan that I am barely treading water against as it is. If I draw a land that casts Uro... Nope. Alright, they went for the Soul Guide. Sure. Yep, good call. You better. Force of Negation. I am just going to pass here, because I can plow and force if I need to do both things. They pop map before combat, the construct's smaller. It's still lethal, though. Okay, exile that. You're at 13. You can map for another Saga, and then I gotta figure that out. My deck still has both of the dress downs in it, though. Oh, Thespian Stage. That's way worse. Now they can just get depths, and I have a whole different problem to solve. Gross. That was a good one to find. Okay, Plow, Leyline Binding, the other Wasteland. I've got options here. We're not dead yet. They might still get Saga, though, and just copy Saga with Stage. That might be a more stable way to win this game than going for Dark Depths. Nope, they're on Dark Depths. You got it, homie. Wasteland? Swords to Plowshares? Up the Beanstalk, not what I want. Okay, I'm going to ponder first. Land, Brainstorm, up the Beanstalk. These don't help. I'm going to shuffle. Solitude. Okay, now I just need a white card in my hand before the end of next turn. There's the Depths. They've seen a Wasteland. They might main phase this to play around Wasteland. If there is a white card in my top 4 cards, I am stable here. Okay, they did main phase this. They've got a Merit Lage. Okay, deck. A white card is all I need. Most of my white cards also just kill Merit Lage, which is great. Okay, well, Brainstorm, let's go. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm 1 short of casting Solitude even with this land drop, so Brainstorm just needs to find any old white card. Any white card will do. Come on, deck. And I did find the Wasteland, so they were right to main phase it, even into the removal. Dang. Disappointing. Oh, they did it. Good job with the main phase decision, though. Yep. I feel like I ran a little bad at the end there, but that was a really good game. Force of Vigor coming in. Surgical comes in. Terminus comes out. Swords to Plowshare is not that important. I do like Force of Negation versus Loam. Endurance versus Loam. Plow. Teferi. Do I want both Surgicals? Probably. Just cut the Teferis. I will try it like this. They are Prisony lands. That's the first game we've lost in this league, by the way. For those keeping score at home. I am going to keep this hand in game 2 that has access to Life from the Loam. It's a good one to have around. And I'm going to lead on the Xander's Lounge. Having a bunch of generic permanent answers, like Leyline Binding in the deck. This used to be Prismatic Ending, but just this era of white removal rules so hard versus decks like lands. Opponent kept 7. Expedition Map, okay. Now I actually have an interesting decision. I could just ponder and Leyline Bind this Expedition Map. That seems really unnecessarily aggressive, though. I am going to ponder instead of loaming. Ooh, I like all of these cards. What's the Force? Is the furthest from useful at the moment? I'm going to put Surgical in my hand, float Dress Down on top. I'll see if they map for a Saga here, because that just sets up my whole plan from there, if that happens. Yeah, kind of hope they do Wasteland me here, because then Loam picks up 2 things. Soul Guide Lantern, you sack of crap. Alright, or you could just have Soul Guide Lantern. Alright, went for the Ponder, though, that's fine. That means you will have to bust the Soul Guide Lantern to stop me from getting any lands back. Or you can let me get 2 lands and then stop the Loam. It looks like just F6 through that. All the same. Cool. Alright. That did enough. It hit my next 2 land drops. It functionally countered the Wasteland. And now we're in this Urza Saga game that I'm okay with. I'm ready to deal with spheres. That's fine. Alright, yep. And they're just bombing out my Loam now. Sure. I'm going to play out the lounge and just pass here. I can Leyline Bind. It costs 2, and I have enough. I'm not worried about losing to Merit Lage, basically ever. Construct. My plan this turn is to dress down and then exile all the Urza Sagas. And unfortunately, there is a priority window where they can play another saga without me ever getting a chance to exile them. Like right now, if they just play saga from hand, that sucks. Okay, I'm going to exile Urza Saga, pay the life and the mana. No more of those. Triple Loam Wasteland in hand. Okay. Sagas are gone. How many chokes are you playing? 0. That's lucky. Okay. No chokes. Just a bunch of spheres and junk. Hand is triple life from the Loam. Wipe out these jerks. And now I have to make sure I don't get waste loamed out of the game, which might be harder than it looks, actually. There's the Wasteland, take out Xander's Lounge. Oh, they can't cast Loam right now because of their own sphere. That's interesting. Right, I'm going to try to invest in a Beanstalk this turn and hope that they are just stuck under their own shit. Oh, that's a good start. Good start. I mean, they have 3 of this stupid card in their hand. Maybe just, like, don't draw a land right away. They can spend this turn mapping, next turn casting Loam, but it is a reprieve that I will take. I found Caracas. That card's annoying. Takes out one of my primary win conditions. Force of Will. Okay, well, I'm going to have to spend a turn hard casting Force of Negation on a Loam. It's so annoying they have 3 of those. I need to find Endurance. I will get a Tundra here. And Force of Negation this one. 1 down, 2 to go. Surgical or Endurance are both great hits here. My own Wasteland's a great hit. That's not a great hit. We've probably just lost, actually. I guess I can pitch Dress Down to force the next Loam and just draw a card and try to keep things moving forward. Okay, Force of Will this time, pitching Dress Down, which I don't need anymore because they're out of sagas. There's Uro, who's not super helpful. Come on, deck. Lorien revealed. I guess I can cycle this. Mystic Sanctuary puts Surgical on top of the deck, which I can't quite cast. Oh no! Well, it's a long-term plan at least. Target Surgical Extraction. Put that on top of my deck, and might as well Uro to draw it, I guess. Okay, 1 mana short of actually breaking up their stuff here, but there will be either a Loam or a Wasteland or both in their graveyard by the end of this turn, and that is what I need to be happening. My Loam's already gone. We spent that early, so no love there. Nothing else is coming to save me except actual land drops. They have Pithing Needle, naming a card that's not in my deck. They also have 9 minutes on their clock to my 15. Okay, they drew for turn and cast the Loam from their hand, rather than dredging the Loam that was already in the graveyard. That makes sense considering I'm likely to Surgical, and this play keeps them from losing a card from their hand. Here's a Wasteland, 1 of 2. They're hiding the Wastelands. I know their deck plays a Crucible of Worlds. I am just going to rip out these Life from the Loams right now. Sylvan Library, Crop Rotation, 2 more Spheres, Rishadenport. Alright. The game is afoot. 1 Crucible of Worlds left in this deck that I need to super worry about, but their hand is very squeezy. And I can't cast Uro from here. There's the other Wasteland. Yeah, they are doing this correctly. I'm going to spend a Leyline Binding right now while it draws a card to get rid of Sphere of Resistance. Because if I find a green card to unlock Force of Vigor, that collapses almost everything that's going on in their hand right now. Yeah, they're just wasting me again in response. I found a land. Take out this Sphere. Now they have to decide if they're going to go for the win, go for the squeeze, or try to draw cards here. And that wasn't a situation where I could float mana and just let that happen, because that's not how Leyline Binding counts, how much it costs. It would have cost 4, which is actually 5, instead of 4. If that resolves, I have answers to that in my hand. My Savannah is gone. A fetch here. I have to decide now if I want to Leyline Bind the library and draw a card, or Force of Vigor. I give up on white mana basically forever if I do that. Or I have a basic Plains, they have a Schadenport and Crop Rotation. Oh, I have Solitude, that's fine. Okay. Tundra, Leyline Bind, get rid of the Sylvan Library. Force of Will, happy to see that. Okay. We're working our way back to playing the game now. There's the port. See if they play out some spheres here, if they just try to win. I am not going to fight over spheres. Their clock is so low and my hand has so many answers in it. If I get access to my basic planes and unlock these solitudes on the hard cast, that's pretty messed up. They're porting my planes. There's the basic. What's up? Okay, Volcanic Island, I'm putting that in. I just don't want them to know that I have a planes. Second port, okay. Let's do it. Do you know how long Rashad Port takes to click through when you're already this far down on clock? Tapping my white and my green. It's okay. I have more white. Another Thespian stage. They're adding another sphere. Okay. I think I want to just wipe out their spheres in the end step here. Pitch this Uro. Life is a lot easier when my spells cost what they're supposed to cost. Ponder. Found a plow and another land. I'll take the land first. I can draw the plow off any of my triggers. They'll probably port a white source in the end step. Oh, went after a blue source, sure. That's allowed. I'm just going to flash in a Solitude this turn. Yeah, shuffle away that stuff. Who needs it? Drop. This is a cantrip. I can force their crop rotation if they try to make Merit Lage over top of this. Even if they somehow win that fight, I can Solitude the Merit Lage. Porting my white. Drew another land. Attack. I don't think I have any more white I can fetch. Yep. Hardcast Force of Will on this crop rotation. Found a Leyline Binding, that rules. Yeah, 4.5 minutes on their clock over there. Still got a handful of answers. Still not going to play this Uro out of my graveyard into their Caracas. Fetched in the end step. They haven't conceded yet, so they have some intentions of continuing to play this game. I'm going to force this one as well. That's why they didn't concede yet. They had another crop rotation. Or do they have a third crop rotation? Tight. Okay. I will fetch in response to that. Do I have any lands left? Okay, I do. I can't force a negation this. I would have to hardcast it, and I'd rather kind of just let them do this and then BTFO them. Because Leyline Binding costs 2 right now, and then I can Solitude still over top of that if I still need it. Yeah, you've got a Merit Lage. I've got a Leyline Binding. White removal, too good. Don't even gain life. Nothing under there. Okay, they got 3.5 minutes to win game 3. I just got to stay alive. Which means that, oh wow, they're packing it up. They realize that they can't make it happen and just want to move on with their life. Sweet. And we have a trophy round coming.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
On the draw for the final trophy round, I'm going to keep this hand. It has Force Blue card and Plow. It's missing green mana right now, but we'll figure it out. A Savannah. Jeez. What's up with lands lately? I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to pitch my Uro. I just don't think I'm going to win a game where that happens. 3 lands in one league. Who let them out? By the way, if you want to just beat lands, Salt-type Beans is pretty good at that. Just throwing that out there. Get Pernicious Deed. They can never beat that card. Okay, moment of truth. Are we getting wastelanded out of here, or are we going to play a game? Ancient Tomb. Okay, that frees up mana for other stuff. Pithing Needle. In the Blind. Just name Wasteland on that. Scalding Tarn. Alright, I mean, that could hit, I guess. Don't actually know what my fetches are. Can that hit? Nope. Misties and Strands. Nice try, though. Gonna cast this Ponder. Volcanic Island, 4th Aerlingus. These don't help. They are not the green that I need to unlock my hand. I'm gonna shuffle it. Swords to Plowshares will fend off the first construct here. And we'll have to figure out what's going on after that point. We can be pretty confident that opponent's hand is spells, though, because they missed a land drop last turn after playing Exploration on turn 1. Okay, you get a construct token, Expedition Map. You'll need a land to activate that, which you did not have last turn. Okay, Ancient Tomb. That's a big land. And Dark Depths. All right, suddenly we are under pressure of Merit Lage and a Sphere of Resistance. I'm going to let that resolve. B-Storm, let's go. Fix this hand. Dress Down's pretty good. None of this solves my green issue, and I don't have a backup white card to fend off Merit Lage with, so we are going to lose here, unfortunately. And the double Ancient Tomb means that it doesn't even take multiple turns to present Merit Lage here. They just get it. If they had attacked first here, it would have been for 4 instead of for 3, but they're just vibing. Doesn't matter. Construct comes in. Island, and I guess I pass here. Yep. I am B-Storm locked. I just hope that they pump the brakes a little bit, but it does not appear like they're going to do that. Nope. Oh, I actually punted this pretty hard because I needed Dress Down to draw a card and hope that it was white, but Dress Down also stops Solitude, so I was supposed to main phase the Dress Down, but I think I'm still in my Brainstorm lock. I've already checked out of this game, but yeah, that's the Mystic Sanctuary that doesn't help. All right, cool. Yep, all right. Once again, Solitude short on a white card to fend off Merit Lage. But at least that one happened quickly. Once again, we see this land sideboard plan. Who plays against lands 3 times in a league? This is toxic. Ban Exploration. I'm over it. This is the plan I've been into. Leave 1 Plow in, or leave 1 Teferi in. Leave a Plow in is fine. Okay. You're getting your money's worth today, folks. This is going to be a long video. Keep. I have access to both of my basic lands, and I am going to take the time to get set up, at least with the basic island. Trop, Solitude, Mystic Sanctuary. I want the Trop and the Solitude. I don't want the Mystic Sanctuary. Mox Diamond happens. Discarding Ghost Quarter. Hate that for me. Exploration. There's a Saga. Wasteland. Okay. Oh, I could Brainstorm here and keep playing on basics, or I could play Beanstalk, let them waste me. I think I want to see some new cards here. This hand is not actually good. Love Dress Down, love Force of Vigor. Okay, now we're cooking. That was a good Brainstorm. Mystic Sanctuary back into the deck, and leave Tropical Island on top because I'll play it next turn. If I play Flooded Strand, and then Force of Vigor, Exploration, and Mox Diamond, pitching Uro or pitching up the Beanstalk, that's actually interesting. Wow, wasting my Flooded Strand. What a baller. This is someone with Life from the Loam in their hand and nothing to live for. Okay. I can fetch. I don't want to fetch Plains. I guess I'll get the Trop. And now I was just convinced to pitch Uro since I can't cast it. Force of Vigor. Target the setup things, because Dress Down, if any of this other stuff works, Dress Down will control the Saga. They floated a green, and it burnt off. And this opponent is here for a bad time and a short time. They have taken the most aggressive line available on every opportunity up to this point. I'm not saying they're wrong, just saying that has occurred, and I hope I get an opportunity to punish them for it. Lorien revealed, go get a Tundra. I'd rather hit a land drop and have Dress Down ready this turn than worry about anything else. Okay, I'm going to let all of this happen. I don't need to Dress Down now. I guess if they get Mox Diamond, discard a land, and Pyroblast my Dress Down, I will regret that pretty hard. Hope that doesn't happen. Okay, if they cast Loam here, I'm going to have to cantrip and hope to Sweet Merciful, whatever deity you believe in, that I draw a Surgical or a Endurance. Okay, Dress Down. Come on, Graveyard Hate. Grave Hate. Oh, no. All right, well, these cards are back. They've already made their land drop for the turn, though. That was Wasteland, Saga, and Depths. Beanstalk. Invest in the future here. Might not be a long future, but it is a future I believe in. They can still only Wasteland me once in a turn. Could just slam the other Beanstalk here. Get Savannah. Okay. I took all their engines. They have 4 cards in their hand. 3 of them are the lands we know about. They don't have an exploration. They just drew for turn instead of dredging. Played Saga instead of Wasteland. That's good. They could have crop rotation. There's 2 unknown cards in the hand. One of them they just drew, one they've been sitting on for a minute. Okay, just busting Horizon Canopy. I like that. Okay, I'm not sure what just happened there, but I am pleased with the outcome. Ponder. These cards are not helpful. Shuffle them. Come on, deck. Some action. All right, that Endurance rips. I am going to Wasteland the Urza Saga and then cast Endurance. Thank you, deck. Good delivery. Get that loam and the scariest card that it was loaming out of here. Thespian Stage. Okay, there's a Surgical. If they start to rebuild, that's good. I have Solitude up if they just crop rotation for the win right now. There's Depths. Okay, I'm going to attack with Endurance, which is going to tell them that I have a removal spell. Just hope they don't read that right. Okay, they're just making their play anyway. Okay, so Dark Depths in the graveyard. Thespian Stage in the graveyard. I'm going to Surgical Thespian Stage. That cuts off Dark Depths for the rest of the game, and I get to see their hand right now. It's another crop rotation. Do they have a Sejiri Step in their deck? Choke, Reclaimer. They don't see a Sejiri Step. Hand is 3 Wastelands, though. Yikes. Hopefully they're out of ways to reasonably win. Yeah, okay. I took their Sagas, I took their stages, and I'm ahead on board. This match is going very differently than the previous lands matchups. This opponent's playing like they have somewhere to be rather than like they're the grindy control deck with a potential combo finish. And I'm going to go +1 Plow, -1 Beanstalk because they're playing like a combo deck. I like Force of Vigor and Wasteland and Dress Down. Yeah, these are all useful tools. I'm going to keep the hand. Opponent went to 6. They've got a Yavimaya. Well, that helps me. Cool. Now I can fetch basics and still cast my spells. Play Misty Rainforest, which is an actual forest, comma, Misty Rain. Wasteland. Gonna waste my fetch again. Sphere of Resistance. I have Force of Vigor prepared for that. This also opened up a window where I could Wasteland their Wasteland. I think I'm just gonna keep playing fetches. Between Saga, Mox Diamond, Sylvan Library, whatever, this Force of Vigor is likely to get 2 pokes at some point. Like there's Mox Diamond, discarding Boseiju, and passing without a play. That's kind of annoying because I would love to kill the Mox Diamond and Wasteland them, but leave the Sphere in play because I'm hitting land drops and they just missed one. They just decided to play Mox Diamond instead of a land. Okay, I'm going to fetch for Island to cast this Force of Vigor with, so they can't Wasteland my fetch land while it's tapped. Loop. Take those out, please. And that's a 2 for 2. It's not like I'm up cards here. I am going to play the Sanders Lounge because I don't feel like they're in a position to profitably Wasteland me. Loam targeting Boseiju. Okay, I'll brainstorm in response to this, see if I can hit some gas. That's not the gas I was looking for. I don't need these Solitudes for a while. Loam can resolve. You have Boseiju. Boseiju is also your land for turn. Elvish Reclaimer. Okay. I'm going to fetch Savannah in the end step and get rid of this Reclaimer. Opponent's got 2 cards in their hand over there. Loam in the graveyard. Brainstorm. Up the Beanstalk, second Wasteland. Oh, wow. And the Force of Negation. All right, this is coming together. I'm going to put back Trop and Wasteland. I'm going to play up the Beanstalk. I'm going to Wasteland them. And then I'm going to Force of Negation the Loam. Take out your Yavimaya. Okay. This Force of Negation was a great draw. Dredge the Loam. Dredge the Loam. Didn't dredge the Loam. Okay. One of us has been hoodwinked. Second Loam from hand. That sucks. All right. I got tricked. That was a good card to have in your hand. Wasted a wasteland there. I'm going to play Tropical Island and pass. Still haven't dredged the loam. Still got stuff to do in that 2-card hand. Cool. All right, force this. Had that one under control. Brainstorm. Come on, find Surgical or Endurance. Surgical or Endurance? Oh, no. Okay, I'll put back some stuff here, play Flooded Strand, and I am just chilling here. Now they're dredging loam, but not casting it. Interesting. Gonna fetch in the end step for... Do I need my basic? The basic is also a Savannah. Mystic Sanctuary gets back Brainstorm. And I'm exposed to Wasteland anyway. I'll just get Tundra. Force of Negation. Okay. Another one of those. Force of Vigor. Okay. I'm going to Force of Will this. Wait, did they pitch Loam to do that? Yeah, they did. Wow, that's sick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hardcast Force of Will on that. And then on their upkeep, I think I'm going to waste their Yavimaya again, because now Force of Vigor, or Force of Negation, takes out the only Loam. If they were sitting on a crop rotation this whole time, but they weren't, and they dredged the Loam. Good news, everybody. We're back in business. Force of Negation, exiling Dress Down, and then Uro, it's your job to win this game, buddy. Okay. Suddenly, perked up in my chair. Surgical in the mix. There's nothing I need to Surgical in the graveyard right now. Blue, green, colorless. Uro, Leyline Binding, which is fully on, including the action off of Beanstalk. If opponent can't answer Uro here, they might be looking for the door. Yep, no land, no spell. Okay, we got to my turn, and Lorien Revealed's good. I think Uro's better, though. Green, green, blue, blue. Leaving the wastelands in there in case they find a loam. All right, race is on. And that's a trophy. This match, or this league, was crazy grindy. Playing against lands 3 times, insane. And Sultai Beans, even ground out goblins. And every one of my opponents did what they wanted to do. And every one of them was just buried in cards and answers, which is what Spunky is about and what he wants his decks to do. And here we are with basically Bant, Beanstalk, Triple B, basically Bant, Beanstalk. Count it. I feel like one Terminus was good. If your metagame is different than the online metagame, you could main deck a second one over a Solitude, but certainly pairing into lands a bunch of times. Sultai Beans, I would rather have Solitudes in all of those matchups than Terminuses. So this worked out right this time around. Might be different for your local. If you got a lot more elves, goblins, cradle control, that sort of stuff, then do this instead. That's just a choice. It's not like right or wrong. It's just what's right for you and your metagame. I think Teferi could be something else. Like, this is just a generically fine magic card that doesn't really break anything. And like, we're not maxed out on Leyline Binding. We're not maxed out on Solitude. We could even play a 20-second land. Like, I mean, spells across the full Bant color pie. Like, this Teferi could be anything. It's also fine as Teferi. Like, it never came up in this league, but bouncing your own Solitude to kill another thing, bouncing a Leyline Binding to reset what's under it, that could come up. Like, Teferi is fine. I'm just saying it's not essential to the deck if you want to find something else to do with that slot. But really, I don't have a lot of criticism for this deck. It is blue counters, white removal, green card draw. Dang. Perfect recipe. Bant control is back, baby. Spunky, thank you for sharing this with us. Everyone, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.